Willie, coming at us from the basement in Easton, PA. To my left, the lead bass player for the FRL crew, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. You know him as the Wrestling Nomad, or you know him as, hey, I need to send Nomad an email, but I don't know his actual name. What's his real name? Because I need to send him an email. That's what most coworkers say at work when they have to send him something, because no one knows his name is Daniel Roy. And if they listen to, you know what that's an indictment of? That means they don't listen to FRL. Because I give his actual name every single show. First question, is Kyle Brackey dead? I don't know that he's alive, but I don't think he's dead. He's, I believe he's in Maryland, in the Baltimore area, doing football things. So is he dead? No. Is he dead to us?
Maybe.
Kind of, sort of. He's kind of dead to us. Except what's redeeming, I think you're able to watch this on Facebook right now because of Stephen Kyle Brackey. So what a redemption story from Steve.
Kyle?
How about him?
How about him? I mean, his wife is 12 months pregnant, leaves her for 2 months, leaves us on the show.
That's not true. Don't make it sound like he's a horrible husband. He'll be a great father.
He's a horrible human being.
Wow, he's waging war.
You guys, I'm telling you, Kyle leaves his old lady. She's pregnant. Christian's having car trouble.
Well, I'm not. My car's fine. It's my wife's van.
That's what I'm getting at. Kyle leaves his pregnant wife. Christian buys a new car, and his wife's minivan breaks down. His wife's minivan that's from 1997. Can you get the Sabato on the line? Get me a Carfax. Let's get some kind of solution here. Get the Kelly Blue Book value of something. Show me the Carfax. Christian gets a new car. His wife's minivan has been breaking down since they were newlyweds.
It is. I hate this van. I've always hated it, but she needs it. She needs a van. Listen, cars are expensive. We need to get her. Listen, I have been driving the we need to get a new one for much longer than Katie has. This may be the last straw, but yeah, it's not a 96. It's a 2006 Dodge Caravan. Don't ever buy. We hate it. Actually, it's not a funny story, but how this van came to exist is interesting, because it was when I came to Austin before I had ever moved here, Willie. I don't know if you remember this. I came to Austin for the spring offsite in 2014. Katie totaled her car and had to get a new one while I was gone, like in that time frame. She totaled it, had to get a new car all within that week, and I was like gone that entire week. So anyways, the Caravan came to be because of that, and I've hated it ever since, and it's a horrible, horrible vehicle. This is the Caravan that Willie fixed, and honestly, Willie, this is on you, because if you were here to take a look at it, it'd be fine.
Maybe I should just take a look at it. When did you, Christian, can you remind the audience when you got a new car?
I got a new car 1 year ago when my car got totaled, T-boned.
Okay, so both of you guys have had totaled cars.
Yeah.
And don't you think it's time for Katie to get a new one? Let's start a fund, maybe.
Well, we can. Yeah, we need to get. We get a new car. We need to get a new car. That's all there is to it. We'll have to figure that out. Probably tonight. I don't know. I'm tired of paying to fix this stupid thing, though. I know that. Not gonna get nickeled and dimed.
You know what I know?
What?
I know that Nomad's emotions run deep with every win and loss at World Championships, whether it's cadets or juniors or senior level. Yesterday, we took a loss. Nomad's texting me 4 a.m. This sucks. This sucks. Today, we're undefeated today, and he is on cloud 9, aren't you, Gnomesy?
I am ecstatic.
I mean, 5 in the semis is really special.
It's only the second time that we've ever seen it happen, and the first time was incredible. 2017, we put 4 in finals.
That's when Deacon made the finals. We were like, what is happening?
Yeah. So I never thought we were going to see it again. Lo and behold, we saw it again after, as Willie said, a very rough yesterday. For those of you listening live, it was incredible. For those of you listening after the fact, I don't know what's going to happen in the semis, so hopefully we continue winning. So, but yeah, it was freaking. Oh my God, we can get into all of them individually, but yes, I'm ecstatic right now.
Well,
Well,
the lone bright spot yesterday was Vito making the finals, looking great doing so, dominating the returning world champion from Russia. You say returning world champion from Russia, you get nervous, okay? You start to get the sweats. But Vito, there was a turning point in the match, and Mike Mal, I think, correctly identified it. Vito was up either 4-1 or 2-1. He was up 4-1, and he's in on a shot. He's extended. The Russian goes spin around, and when Vito won that exchange to make it 6-1, the Russian really, he had nothing left. So it was a really, really great win for Vito in a tough weight. 57's always good here. And I think similarly about, Gabe Tag at 61. That kid's in the semis. We have to come to terms with Gabe Tag being very good at wrestling. There's no other conclusions to be reached.
What? Going back to Vito. Number one, I mean, he looked really good, but he would also. There were some scary points in his run, by the way. Like,
yeah,
somebody.
He got tired.
He got maybe hurt. He tried a gut and got stepped over, and if they would have called the pin, I would have been like not surprised. I mean, he was dominating the kid. But,
yeah.
And the second point on the Vito, is that look at our 57s. Look at our 57s on the senior level. At least 4 junior world medalists right now. Vito, Dayton, Spencer, Gilman.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of success. We're pretty good there.
Micic.
He's not really American, but
He wrestles
anymore.
for Serbia.
But yes.
Just saying. Just imagine. I mean, no, man. What's so interesting is you get so fired up. For the,
I was practicing what I was going to say because I knew this was coming.
You're so no. There's nothing to say. You're so fired up as you should be. But what if one of these kids said, you know what? I represent. I mean, you want America to win. It's very obvious. You want America to win. You do not want Iran to win.
As much as I want America to win, I defend the right, whatever you want to call it, of those athletes to compete for other countries.
Okay.
But for anyone to question my undying allegiance to USA Wrestling,
You won't
show me someone who has watched more World Championship matches in the last 5 or 6 years than me.
If you want to prove it, take off your shirt and reveal a USA Wrestling logo tattoo on your back shoulder.
I have a JO shirt on right now.
JO.
Yeah.
Great. Close enough. Until you get a USA...
He's got tattoos, so...
He does have tattoos, but you need the USA Wrestling tattoo that shows through your singlet. That would be when we knew for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you still like America, even though you want some American. Dude, I had the stupid laptop, and the slightest touch screen makes all the volume go. So that's what that was, guys.
Oh my.
Just go with it. Sorry, Nomad. But yeah, I'm glad you still like America for now.
I am. I'm down to talk about any of the Junior Worlds guys if you want to. That's all I did this morning.
I want to. I mean, I think we should kind of go weight by weight real quick. I think we've all seen the matches. So Vito, scary, but he wins. I think Vito's always going to be. I think that's the joy of Vito. It's always going to be kind of scary. He's crazy. He's a wild card. The reason you love him is the reason you're like, just relax, be careful. But he would never be as good as he was if he was so cautious.
Even within America, right? Depending upon who you're rooting for at trials and things, you've got the Austin Gomez matches from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He was up 6-0 on Dayton this year at the Open. Mm-hmm. He had basically a boxing match with G Feller the year. I think that was the year he made the cadet team, or at least it happened in Akron. So Vito's had some wild ones even within the country too.
He's beat some gangsters too. He's beat a lot of good dudes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's Vito. Go Vito, go! Wrestling in the finals today. Gabe
Who
Tag
got in the finals?
Japan.
No man.
Japan, and he really scares me a lot. I think skill for skill, technique-wise, Vito is better, but the Japanese kid is very good on the mat, like including scoring from bottom in parterre.
Like
and then,
Chamizo.
yeah, and then scoring from top parterre, which in my opinion is Vito's worst position, or at least the position where he has shown to be the most vulnerable. But I do think he's better on his feet. I think that kid gets a lot of takedowns on just like tenacity. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Tag looking good. Makes the semis. Had a dominant win and then a 2-1 over Iran.
That was nip and tuck.
Which was like, but the guy was never really, well, really early on, I was like, all right, this is concerning. Because he was like at the edge almost immediately. I was like, this is going to be one of those. But then he just adjusted. He was snapping him off well, and then he was fine. And then he just won 2-1. He got the one step out. He scored the only legitimate point as they both exchanged shot clocks. And, hey, you got to be able to, I mean, for me, seeing an American at the junior level able to win a match like that shows a lot of savvy.
Yeah.
Because it's just so different from a folk style match.
Well, and then
That's what I took away from it too, Christian, is that, Gabe has jumped levels, I believe, in his skills. But to win the spot on the team and the path he went through, and then to get to Worlds and win a 2-1 match, it showed not just a maturation in his skills, but a maturation in his mat savviness, right? I mean, you go there and you probably have this American mentality of score, and it didn't present itself. Iranians oftentimes present different problems, and for him to kind of solve that and stay comfortable in a tight match and figure it out, I think showed a different element to his maturity.
You know what? Sorry to pause. Just keeping on the world's topic, but you know what I miss more than anything? When the gang all got together in the wee hours of the morning, watched entire weeks of wrestling together. That was the summer of 2016 was magical.
Yeah.
We did that for 3 straight weeks, did 3 different weeks, cadet, junior, and Olympics, and it was fantastic. It was taxing on the system, but it brought us close together as a family, and it made me love rooting for USA Wrestling. It was a really fun thing that we used to do. We would all get in a room and watch, and it'd be fun. We would weirdly talk in foreign accents for the majority of a week, to the point that we would leave.
Did.
We would leave watching it, like it would end or it'd be between sessions or whatever, and we would have a hard time not talking in this voice.
Mm-hmm.
In this, just basically, it was an Eastern European voice that we were all, literally all of us, Kyle and Nomad and Willie, and we're speaking to our other coworkers who just think we're insane, and we're dropping into this accent. It was kind of a tougher scene, so maybe in some ways it has helped us that we're not sitting there all together. Kyle Brackley always did this spitting thing when he would get mad. He would just like pretend he was spitting. Okay. Back to the show.
Yeah.
Yaya Thomas lost his own.
No, he won one.
No, he was 1-1.
Yeah.
Close match. The weird thing about some of these world matches, they'll be like really close, and then these guys kind of gets steamrolled. Tanner Sloan was up like 2-1 and then got teched.
Well, getting back to tag for a second, when we get to Yaya, the parterre early on, he was tenacious. Like, just forget which match it was, but just like that guy was going to get turned. Like there was no way that Gabe was not going to get turned there. So I really like that. And then what you guys were saying about the Iranian match. So I slept on Gabe Tag, whatever you want to call it. But I'm very happy that he's doing well. But Yaya did win one.
I was talking to Tony
Name drop
a couple of weeks ago, and he's actually over there. You can see him in the background. Why do they only let one guy? Why do they only let one coach? I mean, I know it gets like.
Well, what's the point of the second guy
12
that's just really far away? It makes no sense.
Yeah, they have one coach here and then one coach almost in the bleachers. They're like, yeah, you can go back there. I don't know what the point of that is.
You can come up on the stage for the period break, but you
Yeah.
can't. I don't know.
I don't get that. When
don't
did that
know.
happen? Like a year or two ago?
No, it's definitely like
They
that at
start-
the Olympics. Because I remember it was Coach Zadek, and then Mike Ironman was far behind, and Jaden didn't know he was losing. That was a really difficult moment in my
Probably a
life.
space issue. You know, there's normally not a lot of space around those mats.
I think that's it.
No, it's not a space issue.
He was joking.
So
right.
anyway,
Keep it moving.
yeah, I was talking to Tony, and Tony said that like Gabe surprises him even when he wrestles because he said he's one of those guys that he's different in the room. Like in the room, he's like, you know, he gives up scores and he's not, you know, he kind of play wrestles and stuff, and he doesn't really show that killer instinct. But then he goes out on the mat, and Tony's like he's a savage, you know. He doesn't give up scores. He wrestles like a maniac, but he says it's totally different in the room.
All right.
Some guys that works for him.
I watched Jake Herbert get teched by Logan Massa in a practice once when Logan was like maybe a true freshman.
12.
So
Yeah.
he was he was 12. He just won Fargo Cadets. So weird things happen in the practice room. Real briefly, Yaya no medal. Brayton was in his match but lost. He didn't get pulled back through.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I talked to
He was there to, he was late takedown sealed it for the guy.
I talked to his parents, and yeah, just they're devastated. And but you know the good thing about the thing we always say with age level worlds, right? Cadet and juniors, you hope that these guys get out whatever the bad experience was. You know, learning to wrestle overseas. You know, did you have a bad cut? Were you sick? Were you hurt? Was the other guy just better than you? You know, like you get all that stuff out and you process it and you get better when you're a senior. So, and Braden has that kind of mentality. So I'm hoping that that's what he takes out of this because, you know, otherwise it's just an 0-1.
Wow.
Well, two things. First of all, are they over there? Is Brayton's parents over there?
Yeah.
Can we get an update on the Lee parents real quick?
At least his mom.
Can we get a head count? Parent
Well,
head count?
the
This is
reason I
big.
ask is because I'm not asking because I'm concerned, like, you know, what their travel plans are. That mat didn't work. That stream didn't work. Did anybody? They couldn't see it. You know, you said they're devastated. I'm like, well, did they even get to see the match?
They were there.
Yeah, they were there.
They were there. And, you know, something that's come up that some parents have talked to me about is freestyle has been on day one for both the cadets and the juniors. And apparently, in both circumstances, the whole contingent, the whole delegation went there pretty late. Like they only had like 24 hours there before they had to make weight. And so I don't what I'm saying is several parents were like, "Man, that's not good." I'm not saying we didn't perform because of this, but it certainly didn't help. And I'm not trying to make an excuse. But why don't we get over there a couple days ahead of time?
Well, and what's also interesting is that we're doing so much better on day 2, which I think if you're coming into this, you're feeling probably similarly good about day 1 versus day 2 in terms of talent, like Aaron Brooks.
Right.
You say this kid's meddling, right? For him to not, and he was in a winnable match, and I don't think that was the best version of Aaron Brooks. Now, there's a lot of factors that can go into that, but certainly there's a reason. Okay, there's a reason that men's freestyle and women's freestyle, they do an acclimation camp for like 2 weeks, okay? Because it matters. Now, I also understand and acknowledge that that's not feasible with every age level tournament.
Sure.
Like, it's you're going to have to make – but maybe an extra 24 to 48 hours makes a big difference. Maybe the day 1 versus day 2, maybe that was the only additional time that they really need to for these young guys to acclimate. I don't know. It's all theoretical.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. Is it just money? Is it just we're not going to go over there day ahead of time because it's more expensive. But listen, with these cadet and junior teams, the parents are paying for the trip anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
That is the thing.
If next year, Robbie Howard, so they wanted to fly together, right? I mean, the Team USA flew together. The kids on the East Coast, Robbie Howard, Steve-O, they flew from New York to Chicago to Denver, or to Colorado Springs, got on a plane with the rest of the team, and then flew back across the country like the next day.
Yeah.
If I'm a parent of a kid that makes a cadet or junior team next year, and I'm paying for the trip anyway, and it's in Istanbul, and Team USA says, hey, we're leaving, we're gonna get there a day before. I'm gonna be like, deuces. I'm flying my kid there 2-3 days ahead of time, and we'll meet up with you when you get there.
We hit up the Whole Foods. We're gonna be ready to go. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I mean, travel matters, acclimating matters.
Yeah.
But bigger point, we need to have these suckers in America. Why are we not hosting this stuff? There's no one even there.
It was. Yeah, it's not a great crowd.
They're having it all these far-flung places. Basically, it's literally parents and the other teams are in the crowd. This is not new with these tournaments. Have them at places where people will come. You can have it. You know what? Far be it from me. I'm not trying to sign USA Wrestling up for anything, but you know what? I'm signing us up. Let's host them.
Somebody said, it might have been Rich Bender, but somebody said it is an astronomical fee to host. That you have to pay.
Why are they charging now? Is it astronomical
I'll tell you
fee to host, or just it is expensive to host?
No, I believe he said it was. Will, you were in that conversation. Am I misremembering?
No, you're on point. Well, first things first. The United States they're gonna get something big here in the next 8 years, and probably a bunch of things.
That's what's up.
2 or 3 things, because. Well, I don't know when this was. Probably a year ago. But I was talking to Rich and the people at USA Wrestling, and they're like, we want to put a plan together for the next 8 years, and we want to get some juniors and stuff like that, and junior worlds, and maybe, World Cup and this and that. And so we were sketching out things, and actually I came up with a whole spreadsheet of all the times that USA has hosted a major thing. I have that somewhere. But anyway, we're gonna get it. That's point one. We're gonna have some stuff coming up, whether it's Cadet Worlds or Junior Worlds. We're gonna have it in the United States. Number 2, Nomad's exactly right. Recently, in the past year or two, they have restructured it where to host a major event, especially World Championships, is a large fee, over $1 million.
What?
And
these companies have to be.
No. I know you hold up your hands. You hold up your hands like that, and you're like, why? I'll tell you. I don't think it's that bad of a thing. I think you have to do it. Now, UWW, I'm sure, likes that fee or whatever, but you have to make sure these guys are things are going right? You can't just say, yeah, you want to have it in Estonia? Yeah, have it in Estonia. We'll come out, we'll site check, and then you go do your thing. I mean, I think I think it's 1.3 million to have a major event, and at least it shows commitment, right? These guys have to have their stuff together, and if you put up $1 million.
Committed to what? Losing large sums of money? They can't make any money.
I know. The alternative is they don't have their act together.
Yeah, I think what Willie's saying is, while it is all fine and dandy in theory to be like, oh, let's have it in all these different countries to raise the profile of wrestling in all these different countries, then you end up with bad internet, dangerous places, having to have armed guards, ferrying people back and forth from their hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? I mean, is that what you're getting at, Will?
Well, yeah, or bad facilities, or
yeah.
things aren't up to snuff and, crappy infrastructure. Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Got it. They did have Worlds at Tashkent, but
that's what I mean. We all started on this. We got on this topic because of we're talking about travel and planning and getting there. And let's talk about the difference between day 1 and day 2. Christian brought that up.
Hey,
I was thinking, is it because
for senior
2.5
worlds? For senior worlds.
We'll start a GoFundMe for that. We'll host it in Austin.
I think it's 1.3 for cadet or juniors. But is it because they had an extra day there to get their body right, or is it like they watched their teammates go a collective 1-4, other than Vito? They watched Aaron Brooks, returning finalist, losing round 1, and they were like,
Uh-oh.
okay, we better sharpen our tool,
Yeah, could be that. Let's keep it moving because we're only to David Carr right now. Carr looked good, kind of almost got cautioned out, a little nervous, but he was clearly the better guy. He's really good, and he's gonna be. I wonder how long he is for 157. Just watching him there. He's got a frame. I see him maybe a year or two at 57 before he goes up, but he looked good. A lot to work with there.
With that Russia match, that Russian didn't do a thing.
No,
and I know
I was waiting for it.
And I know that sometimes that's their thing, right? Where they're very counter, and they're very much about conserving energy. Like Russia's like, why win 10-0 when you can win 3-2? Like, who cares, right? But sometimes it bites them and it gets them in trouble because then they're not built to come back.
I don't even know if it bit them I think they are kind of built to come back. They don't mind being down 2 because they know they've got one in their back pocket. They just didn't have it. Is Russia doing? How are they doing this tournament?
Well, they're in first.
Okay, good.
He was returning bronze at the same weight.
Yeah.
But
wow.
I mean, this is nothing against David, but that dude didn't have nothing. That dude.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do a thing.
No.
And David's finishes were, awesome, so crisp.
Yeah, he set the one where he shot the low level and then he came to the single, and that was really. That was actually not crisp. That was just methodical and difficult.
Yeah. But when you see it, you're like, that's when you see that, you're like, that is a kid who can do things on the senior level going forward, right? Like you see that potential with him.
Yeah.
He was on the shot clock in that situation.
Yeah.
That was a crazy finish. That was a really good finish.
Did
you see his? Did you see the one where he's wrestling Iran? I guess that's a quarterfinal. By the way, that kid was humongous. He had the frame of Yazdani, karate. But did you see that lace? It looked like both kids were in pain. They were doubled over.
It did not look fun.
Backs were breaking.
Parterre's not fun. Offense or defense. I already mentioned Brooks. Brooks is a hammer. Just wasn't his day. It happens. Big things coming for Aaron Brooks. We all know that. It just happens. But the hoagie, the other hoagie, the bigger hoagie, the supersize, Trent is underhooking, blasting through these foreigners like they've never seen it. And to be fair, there are not many. A lot of guys use an underhook, but the way you club, punch, and just drives through guys, it is actually a pretty unique thing that he does.
And the angles, right? Like the low and exploding, just.
Yeah, he looks like when he explodes, he gets real low, has his hand on the mat, and boom, 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 and guys he just bowls him down. He looks really good. He's one for me. I mean, first of all, he has the goods at the international style, but I'm so curious for him next year. Like, how is he going to be at the D1 for NC State? Part of me is like, could he have a Hayden like freshman season? He's not going to have like these physical issues or adjustments as a freshman. He's going to be very strong. My biggest concern with Trent next year, NC State, is what's his other punch, right? I think you have to have another punch other than the underhook. Maybe not. You know, maybe
What's he going?
Maybe his I guess 84, right?
Yeah.
But what's his is he one, I guess it's two questions. One, what's his other punch? You know, what else is he going to do beyond that amazing underhook? Or two, does he not need one? Is his series that good? I mean, we've seen it. There are guys that can just be that good at a thing, and that's all he'll need. And I'm not saying that's all he's got. It's not all he's got, but it is like his signature hold, right? So I'm curious for him, and I'm sure Coach Papalizio and company are all over it.
Yeah, and I think he got a lot of dog in him too. He got, you know what I mean? And when you know, you can be very good technically. You can have a diverse offense. I mean,
portfolio.
when it comes to NCAA wrestling, you know, if you have a couple skills, but you also have a lot of dog and you have a lot of fight in you, and you're scrappy and you like to win and you can get punched in the face. And I think Trent's built that way.
And sometimes he punches himself in the face.
He takes care of that himself.
Therefore, punches to the face will not faze him because no one punches Trent like Trent punches Trent.
Yeah, I do think you.
All right, I'm all in now. The dog factor, I'm all in.
I do think you're onto something though. As far, I mean, look, you talked to Ian Assail, right, who was his club coach coming up, and he told, you know, he's been on this with Trent for a long time, like, hey, you got to diversify, and I think he has. He is there is noticeable skill improvement from, you know, when he was in high school, which is good that kids are continuing to develop. But I'm kind of mad that it didn't really dawn on me until I started watching him that he was gonna have a lot of success, just because we see it every year, right, with Iran, with underhooks at the age level, like. That is a style that can work, especially at the junior level. But yeah, I'm with you, Christian. I think I don't know what struggle means for him. You know, like maybe struggle means 8th, right? Because of the composition of that weight this year.
That'd be pretty, if he plays as a freshman, that's pretty impressive.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, given the composition of the weight, like I don't know what struggle means, but I do think he this first year there could be some learning curve for him, folk style wise.
Yeah. I'm curious, but now I kind of think it's gonna be a Darmstadt-Heidle NCAA final. So.
Get that going. I want to clarify.
Oh.
So when I wrote that tweet, I thought Darmstadt, like not I thought, because I know we talked about it, but like he was in my head as one of those guys that was redshirting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said that, and I'm like,
say?
Nomad sent a tweet that said, with Cornell taking all these red shirts, it will likely end their streak of having an NCAA finalist for their 10-year NCAA.
12 straight years NCAA finalists, 12 straight years in the top 10, and I'm like, there's no way.
And then the GOAT logs on to Twitter.
He's like, for 12 years?
Listen.
Yeah.
And then, Willie, listen. Then the GOAT logs on, Ben Darmstadt, and he replies, bet.
And I was like, you're not redshirting. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair. Not going to delete the tweet, but that's fair. That's a fair point.
Okay, so Heidle Darmstadt final. Lucas Davison, really like him. I liked him last year. Still like him a year later. He's gonna be really good. His D1 results were not inspirational last year, but I don't care. He's got the goods. He can get the legs.
I thought he looked good at Midlands.
He did.
Did he lose to Sloan in the semis or
4-3? Yeah.
Also, I mean, one thing we know about 97, like you can go from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Amen. And speaking of Tanner Sloan, he was our rep 97. He was winning his match 2-1 at the break, and then that guy hit one of the nicest high single cutback finishes I've ever. It was so fast. But yeah, I mean, for Sloan, it's been a great year. I mean, no medal, but he looked. I mean, between Midlands and making the junior world team, a lot to be excited about with him.
I mean, you would, based on those results, I mean, you'd be pretty surprised if he wasn't in the mix to place.
Yeah,
as it stands right now, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, the Han factor in his success with that weight range is Very notable.
Pretty solid.
Then Mason Paris is in the semis as well. A Michigan man, through and through. He's kind of steamrolling.
Yeah, and
he's just drilling. Although, he's hitting gut wrenches too.
Yeah, he's also doing that.
That's what has me jazzed up.
Super jazzed.
Because
he was doing jazz hands all morning long.
Jazz flute.
But yeah, I don't. You know, again, this is Mason's 5th or 6th, I don't know, freestyle event, and he's starting to get the freestyle chops, right? Yeah, this morning session was awesome. I cannot wait.
He's gonna win too. Knock on wood.
The whole shebang.
No, I don't know, because when I did the bracket breakdown, to be honest, I just focused on their half of the bracket this time. But to me, it's not surprising that Mason is here in the semis, and I think he's going to win in the semis. I don't think
that'd be so awesome. Hey, real quick, Nick Reenan to 197, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh boy,
I thought that was like established.
Well, yeah, I actually didn't know, but now I remember his dad said he was really big now, so that's good. And I think it makes sense for NC State. Sorry for like a major plot twist here. This is the Wolfpack hour, but when you think about Reenan's success, it was like he was like kind of a smaller, big guy, and he was just steamrolling all those dudes. Then he goes down to 74, where he was just like that same size, and I think it was just different, right, based on the style.
There's some parents that want to believe their kids are bigger than what they are. Some of the bigger guys, like John Reen's like, yeah, Nick's huge, about 220. He's gonna be a heavyweight. John, he's gonna be 74 pounds. Like John Brooks too. John Brooks is like, yeah, Aaron's huge. Aaron's gonna be huge. John.
It's 174.
A little bit, buddy.
Is it John's? Is it a John thing?
Maybe it's a John thing.
All right. So that's Junior Worlds semis this morning, or mid-morning-ish.
Yeah.
Do you have a ET?
Unless you are listening to this live, the semis will have already happened by the time you hear
Wow.
this.
That's a guarantee.
Wow.
So Yanni arbitration.
Oh boy.
Man. Well, first of all, everyone wants to know like what's the latest? When are we gonna know? I mean, they were like, when we found out the thing was Thursday, they're like, oh, we'll definitely know that day or the next day. And then when they're still ruling, they're doing it late Thursday. Then there's Friday comes, and then Friday nothing, and they're like, yeah, next week. And now, who even knows?
Can we have a correspondent outside the courthouse? Maybe.
I'm hoping a carrier pigeon comes, or like a courier of some sort with a telegram to the Dake Ringer thing, and we find out there.
So
where is this arbitration at?
I have no idea.
An undisclosed location.
Yeah, undisclosed. I would guess in the Northeast, but who knows? Maybe it's in Colorado. So what's interesting, I sent a tweet. I don't know if it was Saturday. Who knows what day it was? But basically, what I heard, they played a video from 2015 of an interview that I did with Rick Tucci.
You were so hot in that video?
No, my face was really fat, actually. That was the first thing I noticed. Fat face CP. My face was chunky.
It was certainly bigger then than it is now.
It's not a. Why was no one telling me my face was fat? What kind of friends are you guys? No one.
Have you seen my face?
Listen, yeah, but still.
What am I supposed to do? Storm in the room and say, "Hey, fat ass, why don't you cut down?"
So from the time I got hired to that next year, someone should be like, "Hey, man, you're kind of getting a little soft. What do you think?" I got it together. I figured it out on my own. No thanks to any of you guys.
Yeah.
So Fat Face CP is interviewing Rick Tucci, and it was about this Logan Massa Chance Marsteller exchange and the Ruth Reader debacle, where it went from like 12-4 John Reader to like 9-4 Ed Ruth after a review. It was an all-time exchange where basically, you should watch that match. But Ruth was just on Reeder's legs, almost like it was like they were doing clinches. Like it just started there, and Reeder was taking him through very consistently. And the 3-man mechanics on the mat thought those are Reeder's points every single time, and the jury of appeal said no, those are actually Ed's, and it was a thing. But the reason they're playing this in the Yanni Zain arbitration is because there were 2 points of contention in the Massa Marsteller match. One was that Logan had held Chance on his back and should have got 2 instead of 1 for the reversal on the gut. That doesn't really matter for this. What does matter is they talk about the length of time between the points going up and the challenge. And apparently Coach Smith waited, or I don't know that it was Coach Smith. The Oklahoma State staff waited 8 or 9 seconds to throw the brick, and the rule's 5 seconds. And now to that to me sounds a little ticky-tack, right? 8 seconds versus 5, whatever. But the key thing is, because I'm saying it was 8 or 9 seconds, so I'm like, Mr. Tucci, it says 5 seconds. Is this not kind of a weird thing? I kind of asked, do you recommend changing the wording of the rules so that it doesn't put you in this position where, well, the rule says 5 seconds, but we think 8 or 9 is okay, because that obviously is not a good precedent, and rules should have limits. It should be known, right? Because otherwise, someone will say, yes, we'll review this, and someone will say no for the exact same thing. That is not good. And he goes on to talk about, he's like, you'll see it if you watch at the international level frequently. It could be 8, 9, 10 seconds, and they'll still look at it, right? So, and I believe that's true. That is what happens.
I believe that's true, and I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's getting upset with that, because when you think about, just to pile on that point, it's like when you're watching the thing, this happens. The judge, the chair, okay, goes up. All right, now the score's got to go up. It's 8 seconds right now. Right? So 5 seconds, maybe that's a little silly. But what's sillier?
It's tough to legislate reasonable amount of time,
Yeah, but it's one of those things you definitely know it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know when it's not. And what the thing that Mr. Tucci said is so interesting and pertinent right now, 4 years later, is when he says, yeah, I think they should change it to say a reasonable time, but this was 8 or 9 seconds. It wasn't something not reasonable like 30 or 40 seconds, which is like how long they went back for the Yanni Zain thing. So he has admitted that 30 or 40 is unreasonable, yet took a challenge and rewound back actually like 48 seconds and watched it through. I can't help but wonder if that is going to be a huge linchpin in the Yanni side of the argument. Like, this is the head official who happened to do this review as well.
Yeah, same guy.
He said 30 or 40 seconds, and you went back this amount of time. That is inconsistent. And you yourself are admitting that 30 to 40 seconds is too much.
You yourself.
You yourself.
Admit it yourself.
No, but I mean, in terms of doing what they need to do, which is mount a legal defense or attack, however you want to word it, the Yanni side did exactly what they needed to do. Like, again, I don't know specifically. Again, the word last time Willie was saying was burden of proof, right? But when you take an evidence point like that, you got to think that that is a good feather in the cap for the Yanni side. However, the vagaries of a rulebook that is translated from French into English, and then has to be looked at by someone who's not a wrestling person whatsoever.
What's the French word for 5?
I didn't take French.
I bet they were able to translate that one okay. I don't sync. So if it says sync, do you think they actually put 30 and we put 5 in our English version? I bet we got the numbers down. So
Christian, in that situation that you were talking, in the situation that Tucci, you were doing the review with Tucci, was there? They said 8 or 9 seconds. was there a reasonable amount of time there? What was there? Was there a 20 or 30-second scramble?
It was no, it was just a step over on a gut. And that was kind of it.
And this is, I mean, again, this is an unusual situation, and we talked about this a lot. And Willie had a whole point about, like, that he believed that it goes until the action stops, which I do not believe is how the rule's written. But I see I know what you're getting at there, Willie, and I understand why. I disagree with it, but I do understand why, from the ref side, that could be something that they would go like, hey, look. The action in this instance was continuous. There was no whistle. It didn't stop. They didn't go out of bounds, right? There wasn't like a clear stop in parterre. They continued to go. So that's why I need to know that burden of proof, because I'm still completely confused as to if something's going to happen or not.
Yeah. I'm not saying that long sequence thing should be applied in this case because the rules are written a certain way. I'm saying, and I know we said we beat this horse to death, I'm saying I think they should change the language in the rule book to say something to the effect of when there's a reasonable time to stop the match.
So, and again, the other point, and this was something that, like, T.R. Foley was bringing up. So, let's just talk about it again. Okay, in the rulebook, Article 32, it says the coach must request a challenge immediately after the refereeing body has awarded or failed to award points, meaning like right after the action occurs where points theoretically didn't go up. Then in specific points is when it says the thing about 5 seconds. So that's the other thing. Are they going to look at the specific points as like letter of the law or as a helpful guideline?
Well, I mean, to me, once the points go up and they're not going up anymore, that's when you're on the clock as a coach, and you have to make a decision.
Yes, I agree.
You have to decide. You don't get to hedge for 45 seconds. We'll see how this plays out. I don't want to take the risk. It's the coach. It's on you to take that risk. You have to take the risk.
Hey.
If you think the score is wrong, you have to throw it then. You don't get to wait 45 seconds.
Right.
And then for the match to end, I'll chuck it now.
Yeah, and to that point, right, there's like separate strategy involved of like, okay, well, I don't want there to be a long break. Not in this instance, but like, I don't want there to be a long break because I want, my guy's coming back. So there is discretion there, but
that's all part of the risk that you have to weigh as the coach, as the man with the brick. That's the stuff you have to consider, and you have to consider it quickly. That's why you're in the corner and not me. And you have to make quick decisions.
And I do like what Tucci said, where he's like, you got to be sensible about this. Like, you don't have a stopwatch, but there is a sensibleness to it where it's like, okay, this was a reasonable amount of time. We can go look at this and it'll be fine. But, and this is another thing I'm curious to see if if Yanni's lawyers or whatever they are went back, watched a whole bunch of matches, and said, here are times where bricks got kicked back. And 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, because it happens.
Yeah.
We see all the time. Chairmen go, no, you can't. Like you missed your turn.
It's so funny too. Watching the Massa Marsteller one, they initially denied the brick. They didn't let him throw it, and it was 8 seconds. Espo threw it. The ref gave it back. Espo threw it again, and they gave him the challenge. They looked at it.
Okay. This is bad radio, but in your opinion, do you think that was a reasonable amount of time?
Yes.
In this particular match?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But if they had kicked it back because there's a rule that says the number 5, that's fine with me, because that is the rule. The rule is 5. And if the rule needs change, then change the rule. But if 2 is 2 and 4 is 4 and 5 is 5, then we have to go by what the thing says, and that's what it says.
When would they even wrestle?
I mean,
we're getting close, huh?
It's early September, right? Is when they're gonna leave for acclimation camp. I mean, is this something? Yeah, they have to do it before they leave for acclimation camp.
So, Willie, when do we leave?
We leave September 11th. It's a Wednesday.
Okay, that's a great day to fly.
Wait, listen.
Why did we do that? All right.
Listen, we leave on September 11th.
Go, you come back Friday the 13th.
On Friday the 13th.
Okay. If y'all make it there, you won.
Okay,
If
so
we make it there, we can make it anywhere.
all right, so we leave on the 11th. So they probably leave the 1st or
The one.
the 31th.
They are going
30 days
to,
past the-
I believe they're going to an Air Force base in Germany. I
They
think.
frequently go to
Rammstein.
Yeah, they frequently go there. I'm saying this match, if it happens, I'm going to guess it will occur August 29th. That is my official bet in the office pool. In the office pool, it's going to be August 29th.
What time?
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Why would you ask me that?
That's crazy. That's where he draws the line.
Can we start an office pool? Here, everybody watching, start a pool. My bet's August 29th. Everyone else can follow suit. We'll put some
$1.
Your
My bet-
Majesties.
My bet is it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that will be my bet also. Even though I think things are happening that would make it potentially for Yanni, it's tough. But the fact, here's the thing. So when they're on trial, when you're on trial for something, like when OJ was on trial for murder, a quick OJ is coming back again. We keep talking about OJ. But if the jury comes back quick, that's like a bad sign for the defendant. But if there's a long deliberation, it often means that they're innocent. I
How
think.
fast did they come back for El Chapo?
I think it was pretty quick, which is bull. No, just kidding. He's a horrible person. Definitely a murderer, drug person. Yeah. So OJ, it was a long debate. So. Who knows what this means for Yanni?
Yeah, but
is Yanni our OJ? No.
Separately from that was a jury versus an independent arbitrator.
True.
So
yeah, what do you think, arbitrator? Just say.
I want to know what this So there's a lot of things that can go to arbitration, right? So I'm very curious what this particular arbitrator thought when a wrestling match crossed his or her desk. What? I gotta.
Well, it could be like maybe he's a sports arbitrator. He just kind of does this kind of. Who knows? Or maybe he only deals with wrestling arbitration. He's literally been off since Marable Green 2015.
He's just kicking back.
He's been like, guys, nothing's come through. I don't know.
Come on, there's got to be something.
Yeah. Okay, so Dake Ringer is in Round Rock, Texas in less than 1 week. Ooh. It's really happening. I don't know what else there is to say about this match. I don't know. There's no new takes to be had as far as I can tell.
Well, we've been talking about it since May.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. It's been set since May, and now it's August. It's definitely August. And so yeah, we've kind of gone over this. I'm excited for these guys. I know Ringer's getting in Thursday. I don't know about Kyle's travel schedule.
Yeah, what's their acclimation camp look like?
Probably gonna eat some Franklin's barbecue.
So Ringer's getting in to Austin, which is in the same time zone and driving distance earlier than Team USA got in to Tallinn, Estonia.
Yes.
That is accurate. And also, John Brooks in Facebook said that USA pays for juniors, but not cadets. So that's
good.
That's a correction.
Well, if
John Brooks has all the good info.
Yeah, if they pay, I would like, if my kid was wrestling at juniors and USA was paying for it, and USA said they're going to get in 36 hours or 24 hours before my son had to weigh in, I'd say I'll pay for it myself, and we're going to get there about 3 or 4 days ahead of time.
Yeah, see you there, team. Okay. Anything else?
Well, okay, so wait until Thursday to make our Dake Ringer picks then. I guess okay.
We can do that.
Because I have decided
Bracky will
mine.
allegedly be back. He says he'll be back. He may have been named the defensive backs coach for Towson University. That's what I'm most worried about.
All right, so if we're not going to make our picks, because I do want to discuss a little bit. Number one, this was a question that was going around, and I don't think you were there when we were talking about it. If it goes 3, who does it favor?
I'll say Ringer.
I have no idea. I mean, why would it? Why? Is there any justification? I don't know who.
I think Ringer's bigger. He may be a little stronger. He's definitely going to be more, I don't know if fresh is the word, but certainly I feel like if we're going to say whose body can maintain it more, potentially, it might be Ringer, just with Dake recovering from injury and not looking all that great in Spain, which is the great trick that Kyle Dake is now playing on us all. It's the classic.
And, if it goes 3, then Ringer has beat him once before.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
does it matter who wins which, like, if it goes 3, like.
Well, it's interesting because the Fix-Gilman one went Fix-Gilman-Fix, right? But more, you would think whoever wins match 2, it would favor that.
This particular year,
Burroughs,
of the match
Dake
3s that I've seen, and I've seen
Dake, Burroughs, right?
Yep.
I've seen every single world team spot get determined this year, which is awesome. It has primarily been the person who wins match 1 does not get the spot. Now, there's a lot of, like, age level stuff in there, so I don't know if that even applies at all, but just this year is what I've seen. Okay, number 2, what is the single most important position of the match? Like, what specific position will decide it, or have the most impact, I guess?
I'll say Ringer post high left side high crush or double.
Yeah, and I will say. I was going to say when Ringer's in on that, does he finish? I mean, the trick is finishing on Kyle and not getting countered.
Yeah, I think that's it, and the reason I think this is a match is because, so like last year, right? I thought Zahid had a very good game plan for Dake, but I think it's very difficult to simulate Dake's horse strength, right? Like when he's sitting on his butt and he chest wraps, not even like to get points, just to like get his butt out. I don't know how you simulate that unless you have a bull oxen in your practice room. Ringer, I think, is one of the few guys who can. I don't know if he is as strong as Dake, but it is negligible difference in my opinion, and I think that's part of why Dake can't really blow him out. Aside from the first time that he did,
maybe he should chest wrap himself in practice. And see how it feels.
But you know what I mean, though. Like Ringer's, I don't think that Dake's gonna be able to do that. But yeah, I think he can still stop him from scoring. So yeah, I think that like within that first or second time that Ringer gets to his legs is going to be the kind of what decides which way the match goes. I'm with you guys there.
All right. We got friends. They got questions. Let's go to them. We're not going to answer this one because it's insane, but we should definitely do this for like a content piece. Write this down, Nomad. What is the all-time USA freestyle team? Use the current 10 weights and approximate weights
hard.
If needed. I know. That's why you might be the man for the job. Who's our best 10?
So, for example,
where do you put John Smith?
Zeke Jones. Well, yeah. So but like Zeke Jones is like completely thrown out, right? 48 kilos, or maybe he's 52. But like, there's no way he can be on the team, right? We all in agreement with that. That kind of sucks. John, you go up because
he's
of
65, 66
weigh-in rules. Mm-hmm. And John's probably the guy.
I think he beats out Metcalf, but I'm not sure yet.
Right? I think we're all comfortable with that.
We'll find you a spot in the lineup, Coach.
Abbas is 57. I'm gonna say Abbas is 57. I'm gonna say John 65, Burroughs 74, 86 pick. We got
We're kind of
killers. We got killers at that weight.
Who?
So
KJ? What was KJ?
So that's the thing, right? So that's like 82. So there's like 82. There was 85.
Put him up.
Right. I mean, it might be David.
Monday was 74, right? But yeah, I don't think anyone's going.
KJ has 3 golds, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
1 Olympic, 2 world.
97.
It's Kyle.
I think you go Kyle.
It's Kyle already. Heavy, very
Bruce.
easy.
Brucey B.
Bruce. Speaking of Bruce, at 13 medals respect, Bruce B is salty. Would 14 medals have been enough for you guys to be impressed? Bruce.
Sorry, Bruce.
Bruce, we're impressed. Let it never be said we weren't impressed. I don't consider you the GOAT. Perhaps that is incorrect. I'm willing to be incorrect. I'm frequently incorrect. I'm sorry you're salty. Please don't hurt me.
13 medals is insane. I remember when...
I don't have 13 participation trophies.
When Yui Sasaki... This is going to come back around. When Yui Sasaki won in 2017, I think it was Alex Steen tweeted like, cool, now she has to win every title from now until 2032 to equal Yoshida. And you're like, whoa, okay, that's insane. Pump the brakes on things. So, like, when you look at it in that context, I mean, like, Kyle Snyder would have to wrestle through, like, 29 to tie Bruce.
Well, he said
so that's kind of
things.
Insane. I don't know. Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah.
13 medals.
It's good, man. It's really good. Andre Moshier. Talk a lot about Russians and their doping cheating that goes on. Do you think they say the same things about the U.S.? I don't think they... Well, I'm sure they probably do think that we do, and there are maybe instances where we do dope, maybe. I don't know. But I think one thing I've heard is like, well, we cheat. You guys have all the nice stuff. It's like, now let's call it equal, right? They kind of...
That's kind of my head, is like the collective cumulative effects of like good sleep, good diet, good coaches early on kind of adds up to, you know, you're here, and then they use steroids to get up there.
Yeah, but listen, Russia, no one's putting the cigarettes in your mouth. Okay, that's not an American thing to not smoke. Yeah, I don't know. They probably think that, but there's no way that we cheat on the level that they do. But someone was bringing this up, like, with NCAA wrestling, it's an interesting thing. The reason I think there may be doping is that there's no one that's ever been caught in NCAA wrestling in the history, even though they drug test. It's like, how is that even possible?
Right. That's my point. Like, I don't have specific, you know, like, people I'd point fingers at, but in a body of 10,000, there are some, you know, some bad apples.
Yeah.
Right? That are just going to do whatever they want. So
I think, I don't know. I mean, I've heard this a couple times. I don't know if it's
oh boy, I don't know what he's gonna say. I just got scared.
I don't know if it's dogma. I don't know if this is the way the entire country thinks, but I think Russia just thinks that. I don't think they're impressed with our skills at all, except for a couple individuals. Holistically, I think that they consider Americans like, yeah, they'll try to tire us out.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't have the skills we have.
That is in their interviews I see.
There are a few, I'm with you, Will. There are a few guys like Burroughs.
They like
very
David
high level.
Taylor.
Yeah, David Taylor. Yeah. Very high level respect for David Taylor. Probably Jaden at this point. Like,
but Kyle Snyder, you know, Beck Bulatov did that one interview. Be like, why does he lift so many weights?
They hate on Snyder all the time.
They're like, he is just strong. Like, well, he's also pretty good.
Then why do you use steroids if being strong is important? Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Beck Bulatov also has never even wrestled in Worlds. So he has wrestled in the same number of world championships that I have.
Yeah, keep doing you, Beck Bulatov.
I mean, that dude's freaking good.
Yes, Beck Bulatov, he's the best wrestler to never wrestle at Worlds.
Probably not true, but you think he's the best wrestler to never wrestle at Worlds?
To never, yes.
In the history of mankind.
Yeah, to never wrestle at Worlds.
Someone can come up with someone better than that guy. I do want to answer this, but it's kind of long. I don't know. I'll skip it. Highest priority. Why haven't we heard anything from the officials during this arbitration? Seems like they could clear all this up. Yeah, they're not going to do that, nor do I think they probably even should.
The one thing that...
Listen, the one time they did that, now it's getting blown up in their face. When Tucci did the interview afterwards, now they're using it against them, so that's not going to help.
The one thing that does confuse me slightly is that the officials are a third party, right? Like, if you look at, like, groups of, you know, like, FloWrestling is one thing, USA Wrestling, and then there's the United States Wrestling Officials Association. The USWOA is a separate thing from USA Wrestling. So I do find it interesting that it's USA Wrestling having to represent the officials, even though they are technically a separate entity.
Fascinating.
I don't know why that is the case. That I feel like the officials should have to represent themselves, but I don't quite know how that works. So that's a great picture.
With a lot of controversy going on with RTCs, let's talk about them in a good way. Which RTCs had the biggest impact on an athlete's career? Downey at New Jersey RTC, Snyder at Ohio State, the women at Hawkeye Wrestling Club, etc. I think it's had a huge impact. I mean, I think when you consider the 250-mile radius and the number of kids that can go there for free and get high-level training, I think that's one of the best offerings of the RTC. And if we're going to go to a local sports club where kids will have to pay and you have to be within a 50-mile radius, and if you're 55 miles, you can't go, I think
and just
that's problematic.
Talk to kids, like if you have access to them. Talk to some of those like incoming 9th and 10th graders, right? Some of these kids set this as a goal. Like, I need to place top 4 at my state tournament so that I can have access to the best coaches to these kids. They're the best coaches in the world, you know? Like, these are the guys, like, oh man, I get access to Cale Sanderson, whoever. Mm-hmm. It's a huge thing for them.
What's the backbone? It's the backbone of our recent success. I mean, when you say who benefited the most, I mean, Zeke Jones, when he was the head coach, and Bruce Burnett, and I mean, they told you, like, it was not controversial, but it was a discussion when these RTCs first started proliferating. Well, should they be training at their, should Kyle Snyder be training in Ohio State's room, or should he be training at the OTC? Shouldn't we have an identity? Shouldn't we have national team coaches? Shouldn't they, should they be training at the OTC? And, Bruce Burnett and Zeke Jones, they said, look, they're in an environment that their coaches know them. They know how to accentuate their best qualities. They know what they need to work on. And then they come here and we all get on the same page for a couple weeks a year. And so it was roundly approved that this is the best situation. And what happened was success followed. So, Ohio RTC, they had 2 or 3 guys on the world team for a few years. Nebraska has had James Green and Jordan Burroughs on the team for half a decade. So I think it's black and white, and it's all in your face that these are proving successful. This model is proving successful.
This is what it says. When you go to the Team USA website, right? You go to Matt.com, you go to the RTC thing, which it's RTS on there, which kind of bothers me. The purpose of the RTS system is to provide young wrestlers available locations to actively train in the sport of wrestling year-round. That is like the first thing that it says. Yes, will there be recruiting impacts? Sure. But the whole point is to get them... And the other thing, to Willie's point, the other thing with that is, one of the biggest criticisms that we have is like, guys have different, right? You have a coach in your elementary school, and you have a coach in your middle school, and you have a coach in your high school, and you have a coach in your college, and you have a coach, and it's like you're never in the same system for more than a couple years. Well, that's the same thing that would happen if the guys couldn't do RTCs anymore.
So, and here's the other thing, the recruiting implications. I'm just so sick of hearing about it. Because, one, all you coaches complaining about recruiting implications, y'all don't turn any of these guys in, ever. So what's it going to change? It doesn't happen. They don't get caught.
Well, that's to our point of if anything is going on in the NCAA, I mean, I get it. Like, if the NCAA says they're not going to do anything, fine.
Let's be clear here. If I live outside the 250-mile radius, so let's say I live in Easton, PA, and I want to go to Oklahoma State and train, I am not barred from going to Oklahoma State, right?
Like as a school?
What do you mean?
No. This summer, I'm an average high school wrestler.
You just have to pay.
You have to pay, okay, guys? So look, nobody is preventing anybody from going anywhere they want to train. So the whole thing about a radius and that'll keep it regional, that's a crock. If I am blue chip 5-star talent recruit and I live in Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania, and I want to go train at Oklahoma State or Ohio State or Fresno, I am not blocked by this 250-mile radius. The only difference is I have to pay.
Yeah.
And, okay, number one, if my dad thinks that I should go to Fresno State and train, he's going to pay, number one. Number two, wink, wink, I'm going to pay. I'm blue chip 5-star. I'm going to pay. Give me a break. Nobody's preventing anybody from going anywhere. So take this radius stuff and throw it out the window. Take this stuff, well, they get guys in their room. They get guys in their room that they shouldn't get. You all have the same opportunity. What do you charge? $20 for a 2-hour session?
Yeah.
You know, you're not preventing anybody from going anywhere. That whole thing is hogwash.
Yeah. So I don't know if RTCs are going away or not, or what is even the next thing, right? What's the next step in that process? I don't know, but definitely interesting. Next question. Last I knew, CDP was stuck on the Hidley-Nolf match. If he thought that was a travesty, has he seen the Flow film on Kerry Colat? I almost teared up the first time I watched that. What happened to Hidley doesn't compare. So he wants to know if CDP saw the Colat film. He has not, but it's interesting you bring that up because I made my dad watch it, who knows nothing about wrestling. He was so affected by that. He's like, that's just not right. He's like, this is not right. How did they do this? Like he's like getting caught up on a 20-something-year-old story. He's like, he's like,
what can we do about this?
He's like, what can we do about it? He's like that guy. He's like Kerry Colat's my hero. He's like, that's a hero right there. That's a man. He had me get Kerry Colat's autograph at NCAAs. He's like, will you get his autograph for me? I'm like, yes. Okay, sure. So Kerry was like, when I asked him about, I was telling him about it, he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool, thanks.
Make it out to Christian though.
Yeah, make it out to me actually, because you're kind of my hero too. So yeah, I'm sure Caleb would be deeply, deeply impacted if he watched it, but he hasn't seen it yet. No. Better sports movie, Cool Runnings or Mighty Ducks? Asks Chris Christian.
Well, there's two separate things here. There's better movie. There's
better
sports movie.
I love bobsled movies. I always have. You guys know that about me. I'm a sucker.
What's
for
your top
bobsled.
5?
Top 5 bobsled. You're gonna put me on the spot, huh? I'm gonna say Mighty Ducks. I think that as a youth, that one quack. The quack chant was like.
Also, Gordon Bombay.
What a name!
Great name.
Great sports
strong name.
Willie.
Nobody's last name is Bombay.
I know. That's why it's a great one.
He had his trials and tribulations.
He went through some stuff.
Right. He had his DUI.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what it was.
Who was? I've never seen either.
It was Emilio Estevez.
And who do you think it was? He tipped his cap.
Gordon Bombay was Emilio Estevez.
Yes.
Well, have you not seen Night at the Roxbury? That's like a whole thing. Okay.
I've seen Night at the Roxbury, yeah.
Anyways.
I go, the Mighty Ducks. Cool Runnings is fine.
It's fine.
They there's a professional team that was literally spawned from that movie.
Cool Runnings? Or the Mighty Ducks?
Mighty Ducks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm an idiot. We'll move on. Next question. I'm actually looking. Go ahead.
Ask the first question, the first sentence from Booby Miles. It's got me rolling.
Why was Brian Shute getting into upper body positions with a lead and short time left on the clock? He's absolutely
Really?
right.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Horrible match management. Just what were you thinking, Shute? Also, Matthew Modine's frequent low spins make me realize where 11 got her tendency from them in Stranger Things. Like Papa
Who was
Like
arguing with me that Matthew Modine was not in Stranger Things?
No one here, I don't think, buddy.
I think that was Spay. I'm like, that. He's like, no, Matthew Modine's on Stranger Things. Anyway.
So, yeah, Schute's match tactics were suspect at best. But what was most suspect was that Matthew Modine had to cut down 20 pounds to wrestle a guy clearly 30 pounds bigger than him. That was what just didn't make a lot of sense to me. It had been, I guess they wanted to have the weight cut in there, but it had made more sense if he was bulking. But yeah, you just don't go up top with short time against Loudon. I mean, that's just rule number one. Brock Desert, I just need clarification on this because I don't remember this at all. Do you still have weird dreams about Robbie Smith? I know Brock Desert is a longtime listener and he has deep pulls from FRL.
Deep pulls, yeah.
I don't remember this at all. I don't remember this dream. So I'm going to need further evidence. I was actually thinking that Nomad may have a recollection because he has that kind of weird memory bank. But even he doesn't. So Brock Desert, you're going to have to give me some clarification there. Jackson Davis. Are there any What? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember anything about you dreaming about Robbie Smith. But I do have a dream story about Christian. Christian one day walked into the office and said, and there was clearly something on his mind. And I'm like, what's going on? What's the problem here? And he's like, man, and he starts like kind of giggling. He's like, I don't know what happened last night. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what happened? He's like, I don't know. In the middle of the night, I shot up out of bed, and I was like still kind of groggy, and Katie was like, what are you doing? And I said, a bird pecked me. and he was like shooken up about it for a good 12 hours.
I used to have...
Did you get incepted?
I don't know. I had weird dream stuff for a while. I would like Katie said, I would like just wake up sitting straight up and just be like screaming insanely.
Do you guys have?
That'd be horrifying. She would like have to like calm me down.
When you get in a new bed or like you sleep in a new bed, like we travel all the time, right? You sleep in a hotel. Do you guys get weird dreams or just like more dreams when you get a new sleeping situation?
I don't.
Because I got a new bed, and my dreams have been wild.
Wow. I have alternative theories to why.
Yeah, me too.
But you say you got a new bed, but I'm gonna ask the question on everyone's mind. Is this the first bed in your house, or is it a new bed?
Well, define bed. Everyone defines bed differently.
Okay. Was the bed that it replaced a couch? Or an air mattress?
Well, it didn't replace.
Listen.
Okay, so what were you sleeping?
I still have the couch.
Were you sleeping on a couch or an air mattress previously before you had the bed?
I mean, you know, sometimes where you lay your head is where you sleep.
I just need
for
to
at
know.
least
I just need
for
to
at
know.
least over a year, maybe 2 years. Your bed was a only partially inflated air mattress.
No, that's not true. There was
covered by all your laundry.
One side. I don't know what happened. I've never seen this before. One side got like overinflated.
So
like
you don't deny the air mattress.
Like a tumor.
You deny or you'll try to correct the inflation situation, but you will not deny that you, a grown man, with appropriate
grown.
With a full-time job, gainfully employed, did not have a bed for an extended period of your life.
I also didn't have a car for an extended period of my life.
That's true.
Some people,
at least that was forcibly taken from
are
you.
mentally able to handle the stresses of tough environments.
I like this. I like this take.
All
this is
you
a good spin zone.
pansies sleeping on beds, you're weak. Okay, you're weak-minded.
Now, I don't want
I'm just trying to live my life the way this company was founded.
Yes. Well, you're not in a van, but it's close. You simulate van life in your apartment, which I definitely respect. I won't make a date joke reference here, but I just can't imagine they're terribly impressed when they walk in and they see the inflatable situation. But I think they know what they're getting themselves into. It's kind of part of the nomad charm. He's a little different, right? You're not playing conventional.
You assume people have been in my home.
I do assume that.
When there are ample opportunities to go to other people's homes.
Got it. Fair point.
I don't really, but real talk, though, like, I don't really, when I'm home, like, I'm a loner, like, I'm kind of by myself. I prefer to just be me.
Just be him. He's not going to be anyone else.
No, I just mean, like, alone.
I feel that. Last question.
Also, no free ads on this. We're going to go anti-ad. Hey, Casper, go screw yourself.
Whoa.
They lied, and then I got a much better deal at Amigos Furniture down the street.
Was it a used mattress?
No, it was completely new. It's awesome.
Amigos inflatable.
No, this is what happened. Casper was like, I got a foundation and I got a bed, and they ship separately.
Foundation. Called the effing box spring.
But it's not a box spring though. I'll show it.
I had to pour concrete for the foundation.
I'll show it to you. It's not a box spring. It's a wholly separate thing that you construct. Anyway, so first of all, I get that you can purchase them separately, but it's kind of dumb. Like, send them together. So I got the foundation, put that all together. That was very easy. There was no screws involved, right? It was like one of those IKEA things that you can just put together with your own bare hands, right? You feel very empowered. And then it's like, okay, my bed's gonna ship by this date. So it was like 2 or 3 days later, and I called them, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, the other one, when, it says it's going to ship by this date, I got my tracking information, I was able to get UPS. I even missed it. The guy came back. It was very nice. And they're like, oh, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. We don't have any in stock. That's supposed to say August 14th. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Like, why would you do that?
Good job, the H-bomb.
And then like, well, hold on, let's see. We'll call and see if we can get one, like a local store or whatever. They couldn't do that. So they wanted to send me an apology pillow. That was their Willie's
house.
that was they're like, this will fix the situation.
Willie's
Can you
gone.
just
We lost
show
him.
Willie.
Willie is gone. Just 3 Tony Rotundo pictures are all that remain. He's considering coming back.
If somebody was like,
is he gonna
hey,
come
you
back?
didn't get that thing that you spent several $100s on. Here's an apology pillow.
Oh, apology pillow.
So I was like, screw you guys. If you can't send it today, cancel it. Went down the street.
They don't send sorry sheets? Apology pillow.
Went down the street. It was like $250 cheaper, $300 cheaper. And and I was like, hey, man, I live right up the road. And they're like, cool, deliver it today. Just, take care of my guys, tip them. And, that's exactly what happened. So, Casper, no free ads for you.
Wow.
Y'all suck. Amigos Furniture, though, you guys rock.
Thanks, amigos. They're the true amigos.
Might just be amigos. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway.
Like the tacos. Okay. Well, I'm glad we finally got the people have been asking for a Nomad bed update, and I'm glad we got one. I'm glad you have a nice bed. It can make all the difference. Are there any organizations in Russia that you know that report on wrestling similarly to you guys? It's 2-2 Gabe Tag, apparently. Dag on it. We got to get off quick.
Yeah, we got to get off.
Restag.
Yeah,
go check him out.
I read
Play the
Restag
outro.
religiously.
Play the outro, Owen. We're ready to go. Boom, he was ready.
3-2 at the-
Owen at the break. I think
3-2 at the
Owen
break.
is watching Junior Worlds too. Thanks so much.
Hey,
3-2 at the break.
Tony Ramos
vigorously towel flapping.
Yeah, but it's not good. Tony, work on your towel technique.
He's better than you.
No,
better
incorrect.
You leave
Look,
Tony an apology pillow.
Tony Ramos, he can give me single leg technique. I'm gonna give Tony towel technique. That is poor towel waving, coach.
Send him an apology pillow. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back Thursday. Kyle
crap.
Brackey will be back. The guy's in on a leg. It's very contentious. Now Gabe Tag's losing. We'll see you later. Bye.